one of my most used apps to help me with my sermons for youth ministry. My name is Eric with a K, and this is the Practical Youth Ministry Tips podcast, and I'm super excited to share this with you today. I have been using this app for a number of years when I work on my sermon. When I preach from my iPad and use that as notes instead of having papers that I can lose or misplace or put in the wrong order and all that stuff. I use this app always. And it has been super, super helpful to me. And I'm going to show you I want to show you the app, and I'm going to show you some of the tricks I use, some of the ways I go through processing how I write my sermons. And I'm not going to focus on the writing part, but once I get the sermon done and placed into this app, what I do with it then and how that's helpful to me to even elevate what I'm trying to do. So the app, the big reveal, is called Notability. And I have friends that use a whole bunch of different ones and they all have their own reasons. And it sounds like some of the apps do a lot of the same things. But I chose Notability. It's free. They do have a subscription. There's a $12.99 a year subscription that gives you a few extra things that I have, because I use it so much, I've chosen to pay $13 a year. That's a pretty simple no-brainer for me for what I use it for and kind of the extras that they give it to you. But I want to show you what Notability is. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here, and I'm going to create a new document. And up here, I'm just going to call it Test Sermon. And I want to show you a few things before we get into the actual using for my sermons. Some of the things that it does. Now, I use my Apple Pencil here, so you can see that when I press heavier, so it's got that pressure deal that the iPad has with the Apple Pencil, has that pressure sensitivity. So a lot of people will draw in here, and I'm not a great artist, so I'm not going to go ahead and draw for you, but I can go back and tap that so that if I make a mistake, I can go backwards, which is really nice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go to my mail, tap on it, and I can click Open in Notability. I'm going to create a new note, sermon ideas. We're going to put it in speaking, and then I'm importing it. Okay, so this is what I have created. I created a document in Pages. You can do it in Word, whatever. And then I exported it as a PDF. Now you can put in Pages or Word in here. This is just how I use it. I create it as a PDF, and then I open it here. So here you go. Sermon, this date, this topic. One of the things I always try to do before I speak is pray. So I want to put a little reminder up here. Pray, God, if you have something to say, I'm listening. That's what I pray there. Then I want to show you this. So there's a number of things you can see here. There's text. There is a pen option. There is a marker, highlighter option, an eraser option, a kind of a grab this section option, a pointer option, which is essentially lets me move the this up and down with my Apple Pencil, but I just use my finger. And then there's a laser, hold laser tail. Actually, I haven't used laser at all ever. So like this section here, look at that, it's brand new. I've never tried that. Apparently that's in the record mode. If you look here at connect, so this presentation mode, that's pretty cool. I just learned something new while I'm with you. That's awesome. So anyhow, I want to go through here. As you saw, this is the pencil or pen mode, and you can choose all sorts of colors. You can add more colors on there. You can choose the thickness or whatever. I use this particular mode here instead of this. Like this, I can draw. It's not pressure sensitive, but this one, when I draw, is pressure sensitive. I'm going to get rid of both of those. And then you can draw here, makes the dashes, or I can do dots if I want. Now I can pinch and zoom in, and I can get a little more refined. I want to put a bunch of dots in there, whatever. Then I pinch back out. So I'm going to get rid of that. So that's just a couple of things with the drawing. There's also pencil option, and it's kind of gives you that graphite that the pencil does. And again, it goes, when you press harder, it gets darker. When you press lighter, I don't know what the heck I'm drawing here, but I just want to show you a couple of things you can do there. I'm going to get rid of all that, or I can hit the erase button and I can go in here and just erase all of it. But that's pencil. And then here's what I do when I do sermons. So I press the highlighter button and I choose red for the things I want to make sure I don't forget. So opener, this story is a really good story that will grab the audience's attention. So I'm going to just highlight grab the audience's attention, make sure you know it really well. Don't give away the punchline. Actually, just kind of a little there. And I'm going to go back to highlighter and press don't with the story till the very end of the sermon. I don't want to forget connect. That's a key thing. Connect the story with the audience with a quick translation and I'm going to imagine many of you have experienced something similar. So that's a highlight I want to do. Then when I go to Bible, so for me, again, this is just for me, for my notes, I go to a blue, and anywhere I have scripture written, I highlight that in blue. Now, I don't have actual scripture in here, but context, what I'm going to read, don't force the scripture to say something you don't want to say it. What are insights from this passage? 3 things we can learn from this passage. So I'm just highlighting for me, my notes. This is just how I operate. It helps me visually to look down, and then I go back to red for the things I want to make sure. Okay, apply. What are some practical ways? So I'm going to click practical. What are things you want to challenge your audience from here? Physical object. I might do that, and I might also circle it with a pen. And then represents or video clip. And maybe I want to write what the video clip is over here. Simba moment. That kind of thing. Now, if I have an actual video clip, I can click the plus button and I can click, I can click photo. I'm going to go to all photos. And I want to click, I had this bee sting from the other day that I got stung. So I want to talk about, that's going to be my physical representation talking about. So I have a photo in my sermon. I'm going to put that there just as a little reminder that I have a picture that's in my ProPresenter or whatever presentation program you use. A lot of things you can add here as well. I'm going to go back out of albums. And I can take a picture. I can scan a document. So I want to, if there's a document, kind of like a PDF scan type of deal, I'm going to add a web clip. I'm going to go to Safari. I'm going to talk about PowerPoint games. I'm going to slide over, and I'm going to put PowerPointGames.com in here. Save that. I'm going to resize it. Because, hey, I wanted to talk about that. I'm also going to crop it down a little bit. I don't need the top part there. Check it. That's good. So it shows you can grab basically a screen grab from your from a website. Now, part of the subscription includes this stickers and GIF and stickies. So stickers, I can go in here. I've chosen Blue Planet. I love this octopus. I'm going to add that. I'm going to put that octopus here because I'm going to talk about how it takes more than just one hand to create whatever it is we want. But I can press this, and I like this guy right here. I'm going to add that guy on. And maybe I'm just going to, just for funsies, I'm going to use this guy as my bullet point. So I'm going to copy and paste, move them to the right spot. So you can see I can go in here and I can duplicate it. Duplicate. So there's 4 points and I'm just using it. It's just silly, right? I don't typically do that, but that's not a bad idea. There's also, you can go in here and I can do a GIF. And let's say I want to search for audience. Okay, so I want to make sure that I think about my audience here. Whatever. I'm going to go back and highlight, wrap it up, final conclusion, main point. What do I want them to remember? And then the punchline from the opener. and I'm finishing the story here, so they make sure that's all wrapped together. That's just speaking, kind of 101, tying it all together. That is essentially how I use this app. It has been super helpful to me, and I'm not getting in. You download this. This is a free download on the App Store. Again, not something that I am getting anything from. It's just I just wanted to give you a practical tool. It's super powerful. Now, check this out. There's another button here. Like, so if you're taking notes somewhere and you want to record the notes, you click this button right here and it starts to record what's going on. So now I might go back here and I want to say, I don't want to forget, I'm going to put a different color highlight. I'm going to put a yellow highlighter into right here. How can this be lived out? I want to remember how that can be lived out. I also want to go and underline or circle, discover the truth. Okay. And then don't forget the audience. So now you see I've recorded that. Now watch what happens when I press playback. I'm going to put it regular speed. You click this button right here and it starts to record what's going on. So now I might go back here and I want to say, I don't want to forget, I'm going to put a different color highlight. I'm going to put a yellow highlighter into right here. How can this be lived out? I want to remember how that can be lived out. I also want to go and underline or circle, discover the truth. Okay. And then don't forget the audience. Now I can go and change that to 2 times. So now you see I've recorded that. Now watch. So you can see it's a really powerful app. I hope this has been helpful to you. Now, speaking of things that are helpful, I have written a book about games. It's a free audiobook or ebook as well as a bonus audiobook on games. Reasons why you should be doing games in youth ministry, a bunch of low prep and no prep games that I've included in there, as well as 15 best practices for you to crush it at games, to become a game master, or to help train your volunteers to become great leaders of games. So that's all free right in the description below. Would love to hear what are the apps that you use for sermons, note taking, that kind of thing. I love learning about new apps. I love apps. So if you would share in the comments below what you use, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm going to go check those out. All right. I'm here again every week. We'll catch you next week on the Practical Youth Ministry Tips podcast. See ya.